I ruined your fame. I heard that fairly early today or earlier today. It's the other guy with this thing about how he's, I did stuff to you. That's kind of his entire thing. I mean, right from the get-go. When he first originally got back to Smithereens in 1992, his immediate thing was diss him, meaning me, and keep the women away from him, meaning me. Dude has always hated my guts. Plenty of evidence of it. And just listen. I mean, what does the guy do other than do shit to me? Really, not much. I mean, you got a situation here in which not only do I not have sole and exclusive license to any and all commercial or other representations of a publicly recognized persona, which is, of course, illegal since there is a law that says I have exactly that right. But in any event, where there's this idea that there's supposed to be these two people, we're supposed to share the thing or whatever, and the one guy, the other guy, all he wants to do is do horrible shit to me. That's it. There's beyond doing shit to me, he doesn't really seem to really do anything other than do shit to me. And so I thought I'd have just this one episode, and I'm going to try to keep it brief. It might run a little longer than usual because there's a lot to this. In a strange way, there really isn't a lot to it either. It's all basically reduced down to, it all comes down to, it wants to violate and impose itself on me. It wants to do a bunch of evil shit to me and say to everybody, look what I did to Dave, Okay, cool. So you just get off, and of course to do that, as I've talked about before, he has to then, vilify and ostracize and come up with some false reasoning or false narrative that explains why it's okay for him to do all this horrible shit to me or whatever. But I thought I'd do a breakdown of how this goes. It's the same scheme every time. So they come along and pop up out of nowhere like, oh, hey, here's Dave. And it's like, oh, I'm like, great. Here we go again. And they start building me up, and it's honestly largely, it's female voices because I'm into women sexually anyway, and anyway, oftentimes the way it works is there's one particular woman, one woman in particular who I'm lucky enough to have some semi-private interactions with through various mechanisms, and that leads to sort of I don't know what you call it, like an event in which I'm supposed to run into her and that do the deal, finish the thing and get back and all that stuff, right? Inevitably, I'm face blind as fuck. I fuck it up. I don't recognize her. I don't see her. Or there's too much, glare on the windscreen of the car she's in, or whatever, At which point, it's fair game, and then it's taken all away from me. All the stuff they've done to build me up, they have to tear me down. But it's funny because the process is so sort of like how when they broke out the racism for the first time, totally devastating to me. I just floored that they would just flat out take my person away and just lie with literal hate mongering, using what people thought was my voice to spew racist hatred at the world. That was like a holy shit moment. Like, wow. I think that was a moment when I realized that the literal survivability of this may not be that high likelihood to happen. But in any event, that then became a pattern. So when I got to that year, they did that in Paris, and I went on to Thailand. They did similar stuff in Thailand, and part of that was him using his machinery to basically gloat that he had everyone think that that's what I thought, the racist stuff that he was pushing, and he's proud of it. It's one of his downfalls. But what was really getting at, sorry, I digress some more. When I get to Mexico this time, when I get to Mexico this time around, I'm here for a few days, everything seems okay, and then they do the exact same thing, take my person away from me, use the machinery of the subtext, if you will, or subscript or whatever, to have voicelings put on in the subtext and everything that somehow I'm saying N-words or horrible, I'm not even sure what, horrible racist shit. So people are like, oh, and justly so, because You know, fuck racist people. You know, they're just fucked up in the head. But the intent is to harm me, and you know, and it likes to gloat over that it's harmed me and keeps me from being me. But anyway, so the process by which I'm torn down, as it were, you know, it starts with the big lie, like that racist shit, for example, that is just in absolutely no way related to me at all, and is literally designed to be the most vile, wicked thing imaginable you could associate a person with, to pin that on me in all utter falsity, of course, and have me be seen for everything that I'm not. And it sucks, you know, because then people are like, oh, fuck him. And then, so they start changing the whole thing. It was like, oh, you know, so I get to take the blame for what he's doing to me, and he gets rewarded for doing horrible shit to me. You see the flaw in the logic there, if we're all going to get along or whatever. I mean, it's just nonsensical. But once again, what I'm getting at is that there's these repeating themes that it's like it's so unoriginal at this point. It's the same thing. It's like you can walk through the steps every time. You know, first, so I had all this stuff going on with like various and sundry women. I've got these sort of little conversations, so to speak, sort of going on with this woman or that or what have you, and which is all well and good and frankly kind of fun. But then they silence the women. That's also, I think, a part of it is it's very misogynistic. I'm not saying that, you know, all women like me or anything like that. Just that the portion of women who do cut out nothing. You know, they don't get any time on air. That's just, you know. And there are, you know, hired female voicelings who work for the other guy to say shit. But in any event, and then they say like, he doesn't believe her. They start building these false narratives about me that they then use the false narrative that they built to build further false narratives. Oh, he doesn't believe her because he doesn't really care for her because he's secretly gay or, you know, something like that and all this other stuff, and which is, you know, and that's what it really was, and oh, look, now everybody knows, so that's who it really is, oh my god, blah. You know, it's like, but it's not true. It's all just this structured desocialization process for me, where, you know, take me away from my person, have everything I am utterly quashed and not represented at all, and to build a straw dog, a straw Dave, if you will, that is designed to be as far removed from who I actually am as it's possible to be utterly repugnant and obscene and foul to the people of this world, and the things they do that, you know, it's effective, you know, and to keep me from the things that bring me happiness and joy, like women and, you know, interacting with them and all that good stuff, and meeting like-minded people, like, you know, socialists, liberals, people who believe in science, stuff like that, you know, pretty basic stuff, but it's all to remove me from my natural environment and to put me in a place where I'm, socially anyway, where I'm really horribly abused, really, because they're intentionally, knowingly misrepresenting everything they can about me, because that guy gets off on doing stuff to me. Like I've said in the previous videos, you know, I got so sick of this shit decades ago that I literally went and lived in the forest on the side of a mountain for 20 years to get away from all this stuff, you know, and I was fine, and I am fine with being nobody, totally anonymous, just forget it, you know. It's just a thing they did a while ago, and they paid some guy tons of money, and he's a big time guy in Hollywood now or whatever. That's not me, that's some other guy, that's the other guy. That's no problem, it's fine. Forget all about Dave who, what, forget him, yeah. And you know what, I'm okay with that, that's fine. I have not sought fame, I have avoided it actively. You know, I mean, yes, I've gotten backstage many times. I've met quite a few celebrities. I never realized who they are at the time, but, you know, they always let me know afterwards and whatnot. In any event, but you know, for the fame part of it, I don't give a fuck. I don't really. It just goes to show that at root, it all comes down to it's the other guy's sadism. It's his joy violating, imposing himself on my person, and having people believe that he has, you know, dominated me or done things to me, and, you know, and, which is, well, pretty psychosexually pretty fucked up, pretty damn questionable. And, you know, the other thing is, and the dude sexually stalked me for literally my entire life. Now, whether there's a short period of years there after he had gotten back and gotten paid, and he's in California or around the world, whatever, New York, I don't know, and I'm in Virginia, where that he didn't sexually stalk me in that brief span of time. Before then, the whole reason he's there is because, as I've talked about before, he, you know, when we were teenagers, this girl, and I was too stupid to dump her because she threatened to commit suicide if I dumped her because I knew she was fucking somebody else. I was just a stupid kid. Anyway, once I get to California in '96, dude starts sexually stalking me, follows me up to Washington State, sexually stalks me. Nicaragua, Idaho. I don't even know all where, honestly. I just know that it's something he's done, and it's pretty easy to prove with the flight manifests. You know, just look up the dude's name on flight manifests and see if it's on nearby, develop a pattern. You know, see you in court, motherfucker. Really, kind of a thing. But this is not coming out like I thought it would. But it's just that there's these really pretty fucking simplistic, but just really nasty. It's like to create these narratives, you know, gossip, if you will, you know, that are false, that are designed to make me look bad and designed to be as far removed from what I actually am as they can deliver. You know, to keep me from myself, if you will, so that, you know, I go out on the street to do whatever, and people are like, oh my God, he's this, that, the other thing, you know, the women are like, oh, he's not into what, and it, I don't know, I'm always struck by how it's always the same thing. It's so unoriginal, you know, it's the same damn thing. It's like he goes through the same patterns, it's the same thing over and over again, and you know, and it's so tiresome. It's like it's a one-trick pony, man. It all comes down to it doing shit to me, and you know, being vainglory for that, you know, that to validate its, you know, hatred of me, and need to violate and harm and impose itself on me, to the point of creating things that have nothing to do with me that he can then say that I wanted, that he took from me and did things to, like the women, for example. I mean, in the world, there's tons of money to go around, you know, I don't see what the problem is, but he doesn't want them, he wants the ones associated with me, he wants to come out, you know, it's always been that way, you know. I'm like 50, almost 52 years old, and the guy's still, like, all about nothing but doing shit to my person, you know. This morning, I ruined your fame. I didn't seek fame, and, you know, you managed a symptom of a disease, you know, I mean, called hate, pretty much. Anyway, this did not go as I expected it to. It's probably a little shorter than I planned, which is fine because they tend to go on too long. But the point is, and you know, if you watch any of the other videos, you'll see how I'm a little repetitive because these things do. It's the same standard thing. You build me up, you tear me down. You build me up and tear me down. And the tactics used. The big thing that changed in the last 30 years is when I went to Paris and they broke out taking my person from me and spewing racist shit. They've taken my person from me before to spew homosexual fantasies of these, which is bad enough. I mean, believe you me, that's not who I am, and it's fucked up that they would do that. And that's fucked up, but that's just me, you know. But to take my person away and spew literal racist hatred on the world, it's like across the Rubicon, and sort of made it a game where I won't sign a contract with the motherfucker or the motherfuckers who are bankrolling him or whatever. You know, it's like, oh, you listen, I don't care, man. Y'all want to fucking talk contracts? We need to talk about intellectual property rights and, you know, settling the fucking accounts before we need to go on to any contract. So you fucking kidding yourself. Anyway, so. Sorry if this one was a little rambling and not quite as clear and concise as I would have liked it to be, but hopefully you get the point. It's just that another point that I want to make is that it's very I hate to say this, but populist, you know. Not that I'm all that. I'm really just an ordinary guy, in truth. But, you know, apparently, the reasoning is that the reasons they've passed along to me throughout it has been that I've become too popular, and therefore it's okay for them to take my person away from me, for starters, and to spew racist hatred at the world, to create false narratives of me that are wildly untrue and, designed to make me look foul because who I actually am isn't as foul as I'm supposed to be or something. If they can just reduce me to somehow as fucked up as that other guy is, then that's fair and that's equal. No, that's just absurd is what that is. I mean, it's unjust, Let the motherfucker be who the motherfucker is, and he can be him, doing what he does. Great, more power to him. I'll do me, do what I do. Who the fuck cares? Screw that guy, forget him. That's fine too. I'm to the point where I'm pretty fatalistic about it. I mean, I would love to hook up with some of the people there. There's some. I need to do a thing on the women, but without naming any names, of course. But yeah, it's just frustrating because sure, great, let's do this thing, but it never fucking happens, and there's always all these excuses, and there's always all these plans afoot to smear and malign me for every bit of truth or reality of my person. There seems to be a very intentional, equal or greater untruth about me and falsehood. Anyway, I'm repeating myself now, so I will stop. You get the basic point. It's fucked up. All right. Love y'all. Peace out.